Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me this morning.
Right, you were one of those who criticized this policy by the federal government and the CBN. And now the CBN has finally made a U-turn with regards to that. Give us a sense of how you feel with regards to this directive.
I mean, I'm like, after all this time, like it took them already too long. And I was overhearing, your conversation about this old policy. This old policy, in my own personal opinion, never made any sense. I saw a top economist, give the data of the money supply in Nigeria. All cash is money, but not all money is cash. According to the data, the money supply in Nigeria is about 52 trillion, out of which 3.23 was cash. So the fact that he was trying to mop up money, was just trying to mop up cash for, political gains. And the problem is that, the reason why we are in this mess, in my own opinion, is because the president, the CBN governor, and the AGF never learned about the rule of the hole, which states that when you are in a hole, you stop digging, because the more you dig, the further you go down in the depth of darkness. Had they known that when the deadline was approaching and they knew they didn't have enough cash to distribute, they would have reversed this policy anyways. And also, another of the rule of the oath says that you should always let logic take over and not your ego. When they got to the point where they saw that they were making mistakes, their ego now started taking over, as opposed to, do the logical thing and make a U-turn. And that their ego cost Nigeria about 20 trillion naira, according to a report that I saw in the newspaper. And also, about that same rule of the hole, when you stop digging, you are still in the hole, so you need to get out. And that is what the president was trying to do by trying to hands up and say, no, I did not say anything. The president is saying he's not stopping the CBN from, obeying the Supreme Court order. However, on February 16, the president came out and disobeyed the Supreme Court order. So what is the president actually really saying, And back to the rule of the hole. When they say if you see somebody digging a hole, don't go and join them. And I think that was what the Attorney General of the Federation did, because he didn't need to play the role he played. He has his own integrity to protect. And the last rule of the hole, I think, is what affects all of us Nigerians, is that when a hole has been dug, we must fill it up to prevent other people from falling into that hole. And in my own opinion, I believe that section 20, subsection 3 should be reviewed and, taken out, because the central bank can change money whenever they want. But since somebody has weaponized this thing to cause a lot of havoc and a lot of heartache and try to put the Nigeria's economy on its knees, we can actually respond by, preventing the CBN governor from being able to declare money not to be legal tender, just to prevent the subsequent person, from doing it. Our own case is still in the court and it's going to be heard on March 30. And one of the things that we want to specify is that the CBN governor never had the right to say what he said on November 23, which was that the money becomes useless in your hands. That's all. Because according to the CBN Act, it shall be redeemed. And once that is confirmed, we are going to institute a class action suit against Emefiele himself, because he never had the power to say that, to make us the panic. So he is responsible as a person. He is not covered. He is not indemnified. This is very, very wrong. This is very, very heartbreaking. This is not, there is no thank you or anything. No, we should prevent it. We should hold our public office holders responsible, so that the subsequent people who are coming to replace them will learn a lesson. We always need to set an example. This travesty cannot be allowed to go unanswered. People need to be held responsible. Heads should roll. We are even hearing that he is coming up with another plan right now. That is the CBN governor. Someone needs to tell that man that the jig is up. We know your tricks, we know your plans, so you might be cunning, but you are not cunning. So stop. Please stop pushing Nigerians into, so much trouble. And another opinion that I kind of feel also, but I am not a lawyer, so I don't know, is that do the banks really have to wait for the CBN order to obey the Supreme Court order?
Of course, they are the regulators. They are the regulators of the commercial banks, so they have to wait.
Yes, but my own opinion is if the bank disobeyed, I think they should be covered by the fact that the CBN governor, the CBN itself, is already under the order. They don't have to wait. It's like the banks don't respect the law. I think it's a part of the learning process in our democracy, because in other times, once the Supreme Court says it, nobody is waiting again. Because it's like
as a regulator, if you are under a regulator, you have to wait for the directive of your regulator before you can make any decision. That's how it works.
Yeah, I mean that's it's possible. That's why I said I'm not a lawyer. I just feel like, maybe the banks could have unilaterally obeyed the Supreme Court, injunction. But I understand that, and that's probably part of the development in our democracy also that we need to work on.
All right. Well, thank you, Marion. The point there is,
finally orders the old 200 naira, 500 naira and 1,000 naira notes remain legal tender until December the 31st, 2023. CBN spokesman Isa Abdulmumin announced this development in a statement on Monday. The statement directed all deposit money banks operating in Nigeria to comply with the Supreme Court ruling of March the 3rd, 2023.